Okay, I'm going to fit in another video today. This may be a topic that is completely boring to some of you, but surprisingly, I have had a ton of requests for it. So it you're going to think it doesn't have much to do with your spirituality or the practice of hoodoo, but the whole point of me making this video, and I think people are starting to notice that there is a correlation between self-care and being able to have a deeper, more meaningful spiritual connection. So the idea is I think we all can understand that there's our mental and we have, our mental side, which also encompasses our emotions. We have our physical and we have our spiritual sides. Okay. So when you get, and I've talked about this before in some of my other videos, I don't mean to be redundant, but in case those watching this video have not seen the other video yet, I talk about keeping a balance between these three areas. And it's just like anything else with three legs. If you take away one of the legs, it's going to flop over. So in order to have the healthiest overall experience in all areas, your physical self, your spiritual self, and your mental self, it is important to take care of each one of these areas. We cannot neglect them, or one starts to sort of die off and fade away, okay? That can be your physical body if you're experiencing a lot of health issues, mental issues, or you have a poor spiritual connection. So what my point with this video is, I'm going to try to encourage you to start fixing one of those areas. And probably the easiest one to start with, believe it or not, because I think the other two are based so much off of it, is your physical self. So the reason I'm doing this video is because I've had a lot of people ask, how in the heck do you work so many hours? How do you have so many clients? Things like this. I do work a lot. I used to work about 90 hours a week. I've cut back to about, I'd say 70, maybe 60 if I'm lucky. But I love what I do. So for me, that's not hard. It's not hard for me to talk to people for 4 or 5 hours a day, or work on orders from 7 till 7 and have a 12-hour day. That's not a big deal to me. But a big part why it's not a big deal to me is because I take really good care of myself. I'm going to tell you the things I do that work for me. This is in no way some type of guru, get on this diet, do this workout thing, okay? Because I'm not like that. So, but I'm going to tell you what I do. This is what works for me. I exercise at least 3 times a week, an hour each time. I do, I say over an hour. I do a half hour of cardio, pretty intense cardio, and I do about 45 minutes of heavy weightlifting, okay? So I'm not super into like CrossFit. That's a big thing now, but I will say, while I don't consider that something that I associate with myself, a lot of what I do is similar. I will put that there to give you an idea if you know what CrossFit is. So now here's where it comes into training your mind while you're doing menial things, okay? Washing your dishes or taking a shower or exercising, doing your cardio. Cardio is the most boring thing on earth, okay? I know that. It's repetitive. It is the most boring thing on earth. However, though, while I am doing it, I am focused on heightening myself spiritually. I am thinking about how I am going to kick that day's ass. I am thinking about how my appointments I have for that day and how I am going to kill those appointments, and I am going to deliver the best results for my clients. So this is where my mind is at when I'm in cardio. My physical body is up and pumped and high with energy, and so is my mind and where I'm at spiritually, okay? So while you're doing things like this that are like so boring, take your mind to that other place. Take it to, what am I working on spiritually? How am I going to succeed at that? What are my goals? What am I trying to achieve in my life? Those are things that you need to think about when you're like sweeping the floor or mopping it or vacuuming. Turn your everyday tasks into an opportunity to be focused on your spirituality and where you want to go with it. Okay, so I exercise a few times a week. I try to run about 3 miles each time, if that gives you an idea. Um, so between, I'd say about 6 and 9 miles a week is what I do. Now you don't have to do that. My point is that you need some physical exercise. Okay, you cannot sit around, just like you cannot not practice your spirituality and your spiritual practices and do offerings and expect to have a connection with your spirit guides and your ancestors and your deities. So if you're not doing something to work towards the connection, you're not going to have it. We get older every day. That's happening. We all know that. If you're not doing something to maintain your energy and take care of your body, you are losing it. You're losing it every day. So the next part is diet. Again, I don't expect you to follow my diet. I eat very little meat. I eat meat not even once a day. Our dinners are mostly vegetarian. And I start my day with a green juice, which has like spinach, kale. I'm high antioxidant, so I do blueberries, raspberries, pomegranates in there, pineapple, a big chunk of ginger, and then I use green tea, which is also very high antioxidant, to sort of to thin it out when I'm using it in my when I'm making it in my blender. So I start my day with that. I don't have breakfast. That's what I have. Oh, I also put chia seeds and hemp seeds in it. So I start my day with that. That's at about 7 o'clock. 10 o'clock, I have my first sort of meal of the day. I don't really like the concept of meals. People are too stuck on, I have to have this big amount of food right now. The idea is that we can eat much less than what we do. We all know that the food we love here in America is terrible for us. It is, I mean, high carbohydrate, high fat. It's not doing any of us any good. It is, we're overweight. I myself lost 40 pounds. I needed to. I'm 5 foot tall. At that weight, it was not healthy for me. You know, high blood pressure was starting to happen. I have diabetics in my family, and I had to put a kibosh on it. So my first meal's at 10 o'clock. It's a half peanut butter sandwich. I know it sounds crazy, but it's like 200 to 300 calories. Throughout the day, I eat about every 2 or 3 hours, and I eat about 200 calories every 2 or 3 hours. So instead of, I don't have time to eat, you do have time to eat. You just have to eat very small things and do it several times a day. So instead of waiting till you are starving and getting this big mountain of food and eating it all and then sitting there, and then you are so tired because you are so full because you overate, and you're sitting there, and now you're so tired and you're so full because you're digesting that you can't move and you can't do anything else. So now you've overeaten and you're under exercised. You're under your activity because you just want to lay around now. So the idea with eating the smaller meals is that you're maintaining energy. You're not getting a huge sugar spike and then you're coming back down and crashing, so you're so tired. You're feeding, as your body is constantly walking around and moving, you are feeding it a little at a time. When you're putting out a little bit, you're putting it back in a little bit. So my next thing is, I have a very high protein, low carbohydrate diet. I abstain from bread and pasta. I do have a slice of bread a day. I will say that. I know that sounds crazy to a lot of people, but it is possible because of having diabetes in my family, and a lot of Americans are pre-diabetic. And a ton of us already have it. So by taking out carbohydrates, which are automatically turned into sugar, that's another way I maintain my energy level. I don't have this big spike where I'm up and then I'm crashed because my sugar went up and now I'm back low again. And because you feel low, you feel like you have to do the same thing again. Same thing with caffeine. You guys need to get off the caffeine. This is what I see people do all day long, and my husband is so guilty of this. He gets up and he used to have like a pot of coffee like this, a French press. Now he has a half-size one because he was irritating me. So drink the coffee in the morning, and then you get all jacked up and you're annoying the shit out of everyone, and you're all jacked up, and then 3 hours later you crash because your caffeine's worn off and you've crashed. So caffeine is draining your endocrine system, okay? And you constantly have to jack yourself way back up because you keep crashing. The idea is to have an even keel. Even keel sugar, even keel, in goes food, out goes energy. Even keel, no stimulants to jack your system way up, and then it crashes way down. So cut back on your caffeine, cut back on your carbohydrates if you want more sustainable, prolonged, a healthy energy level, okay? Sleep, I don't sleep a ton. I get up a million times at night. That's normal for me, may not be normal for you. Get whatever amount of sleep you need. These people who think they need like 9, 10, 11 hours of sleep a day, that's crazy. I'm sorry, you don't. So just make sure you're getting a healthy amount of sleep. Let me try to think of what else that is important. Water, I drink about 64 ounces of water a day. To give you an idea of what that is like a big Gatorade bottle that you would buy, like you stop at the convenience store and you get a Gatorade bottle and you drink that. It's 2 of those, and it's not a big deal. I fill them up with water and ice, and I carry them around the house with me, or I carry them around in my car. I take one to the gym. I drink a whole one while I'm at the gym, and I'm at the gym for an hour and 15 minutes, something like that. Yeah, so just try to, these are just little things that you can do, try to watch your carbs, drink a lot of water, get a little activity in, try not to jerk your system around with sugar and stimulants, and try not to eat such big heavy meals. And a lot of that is the carbohydrates and the meat. We don't need as much food as what we really think we do. I mean, to put it in perspective for you, the rest of the world is living on a fraction of the food that we eat, and they're alive and they're fine. So if you think that you need to eat, all this massive food to survive, you don't. You can easily cut back your portions and your calories, and you're going to be just fine. I promise you, you're not going to starve to death. I know when I first started losing weight, I literally felt like I was starving, and I had to mentally tell myself, there are people actually starving, and you are being absolutely ridiculous right now, and it's not making any sense at all for you to say that to yourself, because it's not true. So I hope that helps you out a little bit, to let you know what I do to maintain my energy level. Like I said, it may not be interesting to any of you, but I have had a lot of people ask, so I thought I would throw it out there. Yeah. So, and like I said, I don't want to tell you to not. I'm not telling you, how to diet or how to live your life or how to exercise or anything like that. I'm just saying what I do. Lord knows my favorite foods in the world are like pizza, cheeseburgers, and Chicago dogs. And I still have them, but I only have them rarely. I don't have them, before, when I would just eat it every day. If I felt like it, I would eat it. So having a little bit of restraint in your life is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to learn how to be judicious with your decisions, with what is going on, and that applies to everything. So just put some thought into how you're taking care of your body, what you're putting into it, what you're doing to get energy out of it. Yeah, so just keep those things in mind. Okay, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.